Hello folks, so welcome to a Wise Game video. In today's video, we're going to be showing you guys and actually discussing these great weapons. They are actually considered 3-tier weapons. The reason being is because we start off making the Thunder weapon, and then we move on to the second one, which is Deep Thunder, and then the final one, which is Stormherald. So they are considered a family because you're going to start off making the Thunder weapon, which is going to become the region for now Deep Thunder, so on and so forth. The class that really shines with these weapons is warriors, and I even understand rep paladins. Basically, if your class could use two-handed maces, it may be a great option for your class also. But we'll dive more deeper into this as we progress through the video. So make sure to give us a like, subscribe for more awesome videos coming your way. It also helps support the channel, and ring that bell icon down below for notifications. So the first one on our list is creating Thunder. Thunder is the lowest one out of all three weapons, but it's still a fantastic weapon, especially during Season 1. But before we actually move on, let's go over a very important detail. To be able to equip these weapons and also use them, of course, you have to be the blacksmith yourself on that character, with the extra addition of being a hammersmith. Now, I even read in a forum, I'm not sure if it's true because I never tested it myself. If somebody knows, please put a comment down below, thanks. Is that even if you went to make these weapons and then change your profession, you won't be able to equip the weapon once again. So for this to all work, you would have to continue being the blacksmith / hammersmith, which makes it where, of course, you cannot buy these from the auction house. Okay, so now let's get back to Thunder. Thunder is a 107 item level weapon. It's a two-handed mace, and it's got the damage of 333 to 500. These are a slow-hitting mace, which puts out big burst damage at 3.80. It's got 37 strength, 37 agility, and 55 stamina. This is the only one out of all three that does not have a proc. We will get more into that proc in just a moment. Now, to give you guys an idea how good this weapon is, we're going to compare it to the Season 1 Arena weapon. So now, looking at the Gladiator's Bone Grinder, we can see that the item level is a bit higher than Thunder. It's 123. And it does have higher damage output. It's got 341 to 513 compared to 333 and 500. But now here's where the Thunder starts shining. It actually still has more strength. And strength on a warrior is the main stat you want to go for. So Thunder still shines at 37 strength, where the Bone Grinder has 32 strength. So for warriors, for every 1 point of strength you have, it gives you 2 points of attack power. Now next we see that Thunder gives the 37 agility, but if we look down to the bottom of Bone Grinder, it gives us improved critical strike rating by 35. On a warrior and many other classes like paladins, agility also gives them critical strike. It comes down to something like for every 33.0 of agility you have, gives you a point towards critical strike. Now, I'm not good at fractional math here, but I am going to go with the Bone Grinder here when it comes to the critical strike. But it still does not shut off Thunder because it's still giving you some critical strike. Now, of course, for PvP, the Bone Grinder is also going to start giving you some resilience rating. And then it's also giving you some hit rating. But keep in mind now, for Season 1, you need to get a rating of 1850 in arenas to be able to get the Bone Grinder. Even though Thunder does not give resilience, the amount of resilience given on the weapon at the start of the season is pretty low. So bottom line, having either one of these two weapons in Season 1 is really going to be an ace in your pocket. Let's take a look at what it takes to craft Thunder. I will also provide guides in the description panel of today's video, like blacksmithing and where you could actually get these materials. So first we're going to need 20 primal airs, along with 20 primal waters, and then 6 hardened adamantium bars, and then 12 corium bars. Now the good news here is that all these materials or reagents are actually offered in the auction house. They can be a bit pricey, especially in Season 1, but it does give you another option if you didn't feel like farming them all. And this weapon you can make right now. And that's pretty much it, folks, when it comes to making the first in the tier called Thunder. Next on our list is Deep Thunder. Deep Thunder is a fantastic weapon that can actually be crafted right now during Season 1. Let's take a closer look. We could see now that the item level on this weapon went up to now 123. 123 is the item level for arena weapons that you get during Season 1. So now compared to Thunder, we could see that the damage now on this weapon is a little bit higher. It's 360 to 541 damage. The strength and the agility and the stamina remains the same. But now looking at the very bottom, we're going to see the reason why so many players want this weapon, and also Stormherald. Unlike Thunder, which did not have this proc, Deep Thunder started this proc with the stun proc, which can stun your target now for 4 seconds. And this is the reason why warriors like this so much, because we also have a stun talent, which is Mace Specialization. So the talent could proc and give you a stun for 3 seconds. So between this and the weapon, it's pretty OP, guys. Because the biggest issue that warriors have in the Burning Crusade is we don't have a lot of ways of charging in. We only have intercept and we have charge. We don't have double charge and we don't have heroic leap like the modern games. So ranged players like mages and hunters can really be a pain in the butt for us, but with all these stuns, it really closes that gap. And the news even gets better, guys, because saying one is a weapon and one is a talent, they do not share diminishing returns of one another. So now all that's left to do now is to craft this weapon. Let's take a look. So now you are going to need the Thunder weapon that you originally made as a reagent for this. This is why, keep in mind, guys, don't spend a lot of money on enchanting the earlier weapons, because those enchants will get destroyed. And then next you're going to need 8 primal nethers and then 10 primal mana. Now this is where things can start taking some time and get a little more difficult. The primal nethers you cannot get in the auction house, so you do have to farm dungeons to get these. So let's see what it says. Primal nether is a reagent dropped from dungeon bosses. It has a low chance to drop from end bosses of level 68 plus, dungeons on normal difficulty, and a guaranteed drop, however, from end bosses of all dungeons on heroic mode. This is the reason, guys, I am not getting these weapons on my warrior. I'm going to get the PvP weapons because I was not planning on doing any dungeons or raids on my warrior during the Burning Crusade Classic. And I'm not going to compare Deep Thunder with, say, a PvP weapon because the stats stayed pretty much the same as it was on Thunder, except for the proc for the stun. And that's all the information you need to know to obtain Deep Thunder. Next up, the granddaddy of them all, Stormherald. Stormherald is a godly weapon, which has 386 to 579 damage. The speed is like the other ones, which is 3.80, which also has 42 strength, 42 agility, 61 stamina, and also the stun proc. So this weapon also stuns your targets for 4 seconds. This is a weapon that will probably serve you good throughout most of the Burning Crusade Classic. But now we need to look at what's involved in making this. Now the first thing I want to add is that your blacksmithing level now for this has to be 375. Now we're looking at the list and it looks rather small. It looks like it's pretty easy to make, right? So all we need is the one Deep Thunder weapon, which we already have, along with 5 Nether Vortexes, which I will abbreviate NV. To get the NVs in the game is not going to be a very easy task. As a matter of fact, at the time I'm making this video, Nether Vortexes are not even in the game yet. And what's involved to get these is really going to be some work. Now, I can't find any information about the Burning Crusade Classic when it comes to this, of when we could expect to have NVs added to the game. I looked and looked, but it's nowhere to be found. The only thing I can add is that it was originally added in patch 2.5.1, which is the patch that we're using right now for the Burning Crusade Classic. And it says also that it was added in Phase 2. Currently, right now, we are in Phase 1 for the Burning Crusade Classic. Okay, so once they're added to the game, then how do we get them? These are actually going to be farmed in raids. And a good amount of them are actually 25-man raids. But now also keep in mind, you're not going to be the only one in a 25-man raid that's going to want these. Most tanks are going to want them also, and they usually reserve them. Now, I did watch some videos myself just to get some ideas about the Nether Vortex, and some of them claim that even heroics and dungeons can also drop these. But most of the websites that I'm reading, the legit websites, are all saying raids. So for the remainder of this video, I'm going to stick to just raids. One of the main places that actually drops this, and it also drops from mobs too, not just the bosses, is Serpent Shrine Caverns, which is part of Coilfang Reservoir. And this is a 25-man raid. Now also note too that the drop chances on these is like 0.5. It's really, really low. But now before we continue with this conversation about how to get these, let's actually take a look and see how strong this weapon is matched to a very either high raid weapon or a high PvP arena weapon, to really see if it's worth all this. So on the left side we got Stormherald. In the center we have World Breaker, which drops from Serpent Shrine. And then on the far right we have Bone Grinder, which is a PvP arena from Season 2. So I'm keeping them all about the same item level, with the World Breaker being just a little bit lower, 134, where the other two are 136. So we could see that when it comes to the stats, World Breaker has the most strength. It's got 50 strength. And then on World Breaker, it's also got an awesome proc. Chance on hit increases the critical strike rating of your next attack made within 4 seconds by 900. And then with Stormherald, we still have the stun proc. And then for the Bone Grinder, the PvP weapon, that has 42 strength and improves hit rating by 18, improves critical strike rating by 42, and improves your resilience rating by 33. So we could see that they're very close. Now this is going to depend on what you want to do activity-wise in the game. So obviously, if you're into PvP, Stormherald would be one of the top choices here, along with Bone Grinder. And then if you're strictly just into raids and dungeons and PvE, then World Breaker or even Stormherald could still be a possible choice here. But now keep in mind, a lot of bosses are immune to stuns. So if you're somebody who's just going to be doing PvE, Stormherald may not be as big of a deal as if you're a PvPer. All three of these weapons are fantastic choices in the game, starting off with Thunder, and then Deep Thunder, and then Stormherald. They will keep you very well competitive, especially with the stun procs that we've seen in Deep Thunder and Stormherald, which works well in PvP. But for this period of the game, my vote, my pick, would be Deep Thunder. The reason being is A, it's a great weapon with the stun proc. B, we could get these mats or materials now. And the reagents for this can also be obtained within dungeons in heroics, which is sometimes easier to get groups together than large 25-man raids. And as we could see, Deep Thunder is going to keep you well equipped even through Season 2. Whereas Season 1 hasn't even been released yet, but it's supposed to be released any day now. And there's one other thing I want to mention too before ending today's video, is that the Nether Vortexes do become BOE after a while. I'm just not sure when they're planning on doing this for the Burning Crusade Classic, but the item will become tradable. And there is also an NPC in Shadowrath who also is going to offer this. I'm not sure how to pronounce its name, but it's Giras or something like that, who is located on the upper shelf just above the Alliance portals in the center of Shadowrath. So I do feel that this video did touch out for all the information that you would need to craft these weapons, and also what they're all about. There was not too many results that I saw on YouTube when it came to videos of this type. So I hope that this definitely helps you guys. And please check out the description panel of today's video to see if there's any links that I have posted there that could help you with this. And as always, leave a comment down below because we love to hear from you. And until the next time, thank you for watching Wise Gamer. Take care. Bye-bye.